Okay, so beginning our day. Yesterday we had our Upasika day, and it was a topic theme on the global context in terms of engaging with the world, and the topic of how to be a good citizen, which that arose out of when we're putting forth, people were putting forth requests for topics that came after the election last year. So, of course, it's still relevant today, and there's a certain dread of amongst those of us who are organizing, where it was going to end up, where it was going to go. Was it just going to devolve into a sort of views and opinions, grumbling and complaining, and I think the opposite was the case, really. The sense of people reflecting on how to use the practice in the world, in daily life, and realizing what a treasure it actually is to have the teaching and the practice to live in times that are you kind of, I think most people are this feeling of it can't possibly get any worse, and then it does, but how to hold that, how to work with it, how to practice with it, so that those emphasis on and this is, I think, what people found fruitful with this, realizing that the tools of the practice are up to the task of dealing with even complex problems in the world, and deal with it ourselves, and to be able to keep returning to the basis of certainly the Four Noble Truths, and reflecting on dukkha, not just on one's own dukkha, but on the dukkha of others, because people are suffering, and to be able to see it not in a personal way, but in a way of Dhamma, in terms of this is the way things are, understanding causal processes, understanding causes and conditions. And of course, in our own daily life, that's what we have to be doing, is in dealing with ourselves and dealing with the interactions of living in a monastery, even if it's it's fairly contained, but we still find ways to suffer. So learning how to keep coming back to those tools, and then and not just say Four Noble Truths in an abstract intellectual way, but how do we feel with it? What is the emotional tone of the heart? And of course, that's when one can say the result of say applying investigation, wisdom, discernment, you realize if it's functioning properly according to Dhamma, then what naturally arises, and what we have to elicit and draw forth is compassion. So it's just recognizing that these tools are available to us, whether we're dealing with our own day-to-day lives by ourselves, even if we're on retreat in our good days. It's still, these are the tools we have to be developing skills with, and particularly in dealing with others, and then learning how to listen to that, learning how to listen to others, learning how to communicate. So those are the things that we're developing in our own practice in the monastery, but you realize that they have a much wider application and relevance, and that for those who with ears to hear, it is available and can bring tremendous benefit. So offer that for reflection.